Hello, Year 10. I hope you're all well. It's Mrs Mitchell-Brady here. Missing you all. I hope you're all okay and enjoying writing your speech. It's a really interesting kind of topic for you guys to be working on, so I do hope you're all enjoying it. Today's lesson then, I am here to talk to you about writing your speech and actually completing the bulk paragraphs of your speech. So paragraphs 2 and 3, which will be today's lesson, and paragraphs 4 and 5, which will be a lesson later on this week as well. So hopefully you should now be at the point where your introduction has been handed in and you have received feedback from your teacher, and your introduction should be the best it can possibly be. So today we are going to be looking at those language and writing techniques that you've been working on and putting it all together into the bulk of your speech. So hopefully, Year 10, you will be able to identify what makes an effective speech. You should already have had quite a lot of experience in this, in terms of when you were looking at your research, you've been having a look at different speeches done by really powerful, influential people, so you can see what techniques they've been using. You will all have drafted the main paragraphs of your speech today using language techniques. And then finally, I want you to ensure that you are self-assessing your work and making any improvements that you need to make. I want you, please, to have a look at that do now. Consider how you want your audience to feel at the end of your speech. So what do you want them to feel? Do you want them to feel sadness, anger, disbelief? I really do want you to possibly pause the video, make a few notes now about how you want your audience to feel, and we will come back to that do now after you've done some writing, and have a think about whether or not that's the impact that you're having on your readers / audience. Okay, let's get into it then, Year 10. So, recap. Where are we at and what do we already know? So your introduction is done. Your research is done. Your planning of your speech is done. We now need to order your speech in order to create an impact. The main body of your speech is your opportunity to tell people what you think, what you feel, why you feel these things, and why these people should agree with you. But most of all, Year 10, your speech does need to engage people, and you do need to engage your audience. So looking down here at this second bullet point, I want you to pause the video and time yourself. Give yourself no more than 1 minute, 60 seconds. And I want you to get down as many of those techniques that you should be using as possible. And if you are up for a challenge, think about why that technique is effective. Think about why on earth you would bother using that technique in the speech and what impact it would have. Ready, set, go. Hey, welcome back, Year 10. Hopefully, you should have got all of these different techniques. So these are what we've been looking at. You know what they are. You can identify different versions of them, and you are able to use these in your own speech. But what about these, Year 10? I know Miss Robinson sent these techniques out to you a few weeks ago in a lesson, and some of these techniques are incredibly effective to have a brilliant impact on your readers. Anaphora, using pathos, ethos, they are really sophisticated techniques to use in a speech. And if you are up for the challenge, I really do recommend that you have a look at some of these techniques, because they can have a really important impact on your reader. And that is exactly what we want to do during this speech. Okay, so Year 10, we need to write our speech. Writing your speech isn't, sadly, an opportunity to ramble and ramble and ramble on about everything that you found out and all of your research. It's the opposite. You need to be credible. You need to be factual. You need to be clear, concise, and sound believable. You want to persuade your readers and your listeners to agree with you. And this is using ethos. We want to appeal to our readers. We want to appeal to their emotion, to their character, and to their sense of ethics. So their sense of knowing what's right, what is wrong, and their moral judgment. In order for us to do that, Year 10, we've got to be credible. We've got to know what we are talking about. We've got to be clear, and we've got to make sure that we are being really, really concise and knowledgeable, so that our audience do agree with us and also are then able to learn something from our speech also. Okay, here we are then. Paragraph 2. Paragraph 2 is after your introduction, and it is your outlining your thoughts. Please make sure, Year 10, you have your speaking and listening booklet in front of you. I want you to be able to follow along. It might be worth also having your plan and also having your research with you. So as you can see here, I've actually given you an example, paragraph 2. This example, paragraph 2, is about disability, and it's also got a range of techniques, and it does have a certain tone to it. So please pause the video, read through the example paragraph. Tell me, is it effective? If so, why? Why not? What techniques are being used to what effect? What is the tone of the WAGOLL? And how do you feel now you've read it? So pause, read through, and think about how that makes you feel. And that should hopefully help you consider how you then want your own audience to feel. Okay. Year 10 here is the exact same paragraph that I just showed you on that previous slide. But at the top, you can see it says annotated WAGOLL. So a WAGOLL is what a good one looks like. It's an example model paragraph. And I'm sure you're really used to working with WAGOLLs in lessons, and you will highlight them and you'll make notes about what makes them good, and then you can write like that. But I just thought, as this is quite a new topic, that I would annotate this WAGOLL for you so that you can see the kind of things that you should be looking at, and also the effect that some of these language techniques have. So let's have a look through it together. Discrimination. Okay, straight away, that's a one-word sentence. The paragraph starts with a one-word sentence. It is re-emphasizing to your reader what you are talking about, and you are emphasizing the importance of what you are saying. What does this word evoke in your mind? Your mind. Okay, we're appealing to our audience here, Year 10. We want them to connect emotionally with us. We want them to think. We want them to agree with us. So we are appealing to them immediately. And as you can see here, look at that vocab, evoke. So instead of saying, what does this word mean to you? We are showing ourselves to be credible and knowledgeable, and our vocabulary shows that. Okay, down here, thousands of disabled people who share your society. We've got the use of that pronoun, your society. Is that linking to social responsibility? We all live in one society. We are all members of one body. Extra mystery prizes for anybody that can email me and tell me where I'm quoting from. You should all know that. But it's your society, so it's us, it's ours together. Do not think of this as a, I don't know, I don't think of this as a chance for you just to get your opinion across. Think of it as an opportunity for other people to agree with you. Down here, I think that this is so incredibly wrong. Clear opinion, your thoughts. So You've used that first person there. So you are telling your audience now what you believe. You're going to go on to explain why you think that. And you're going to prove. Keyword there, year 10. Prove yourself to be knowledgeable and show your audience that they should also agree with you. We must stop this discrimination now. Okay, that's what you want to happen. Really clear, really simple, straight away in your paragraph 2. The discrimination must end now. That is what paragraph 2 is about, you being clear and concise. And then finally, disabled people living in the UK are 3 times more likely to be without a job, and their living costs are 25% higher. Fair? Okay, I've used facts and statistics there. They are true statistics, year 10, and it's made me credible. It makes you look like you know exactly what you're talking about. And let's be honest, if people know what they're talking about, we're more likely to listen to them and believe them. And then finally, we're ending with that rhetorical question. So we're getting our audience thinking for themselves, their own opinions, and thinking about their thoughts before they then listen to some more of yours. So that is paragraph 2, annotated WAGOLL. So you can see what a good one looks like and the kind of things you should be including and why. Okay, 10. This now is an opportunity for you to pause this video, have a look at the PowerPoint sent to you by your teacher, and you are going to write your own paragraph 2. As you can see, this is kind of like a help scaffold sheet. You can see here, I've actually broken down the success criteria for you in detail. What are you doing? How are you doing it? Why are you doing it? You're going to write your second paragraph. You are going to use a range of those language techniques that we've looked at the last few weeks. Why? Well, this is where you really begin to convince your audience. You've engaged them in the introduction. Now you need to convince them. Make sure you have your booklet, please, year 10, because down here you've got some sentence starters that you can use in case you are struggling. And here is your success criteria. You're going to put your reader in the situation. So whichever form of discrimination you are talking about, you want your reader to understand the situation and appeal to their ethos, so put them in the situation. Rhetorical questions are a great way of doing this. It allows them to think independently and also come around to your way of thinking. Powerful statements. This is crucial, year 10. So is your vocabulary. Instead of discrimination being wrong, discrimination is unjust, life-destroying, and tragic. So think about that triple I've just used, and that vocabulary is quite emotive, so your audience are more likely to have a reaction. Reasons. So this is outlining your reasons, why you think this, what you think, and you will then go on to explain why people should also agree with you. Okay, in an ideal world, discrimination wouldn't exist. Of course, that would be wonderful. You can touch upon this, but you don't have to. We will be looking at this in a slightly later lesson. We want to appeal to the reader, similar to put the reader in the situation, but this is where our choice of vocabulary and facts and statistics, we need to hit our audience with these statistics in order for them to actually understand our point. Don't forget, year 10, you should be looking at your research. And then finally, end your paragraph 2 with an imperative statement. What needs to change? What do we need to do? How are we going to do it? This is a really effective ending for your paragraph 2 because it sort of summed up what you've said in your paragraph. So pause me, have a go at paragraph 2. Good luck. Welcome back, year 10. So I hope paragraph 2 went well. You will have the opportunity to redraft and improve, but generally, if you've done your research and your planning, you should have been absolutely fine. Okay, year 10, paragraph 3, your personal story. This is your anecdote. This is your chance to really appeal to the emotion of your readers. You want to make this discrimination real. You want to make it something that your audience hate as much as you do or want to change as much as you do. So here's a waggle. Sexism is real. It is happening to us all, as sisters, daughters, mothers, friends, and colleagues. Previously, as the only female in my office, I felt like I was constantly the butt of jokes, which for the most part I could take, but sometimes it went too far. Once, I told my male colleagues it felt as if I was constantly being ganged up on. My boss responded, "Why are girls always so emotional?" I stormed out the office, and after that, they behaved in such an extreme way. They treated me like I'm fragile, they apologised profusely and mockingly. It was incredibly insulting as a woman. No, as a human, to have to deal with this kind of treatment in a professional workplace. You can't win. Okay, year 10. So that was me reading that waggle to you as if I was delivering it as part of a speech. I haven't done an annotation of this one for you, year 10, because I'm hoping that you can now pause the video and annotate this waggle yourself. I know you don't have it in front of you, but you can, with your pen and paper, make a few notes. Think about the overall tone of that paragraph. How did that make you feel? What's the emotion behind it? What's the impact? Is there any techniques used in the paragraph that were really, really relevant, really powerful? Pause it and have a think. Okay, year 10, we are now at the point where we are going to write paragraph 3 ourselves. You are going to write your anecdotal story. On the next slide, you can see that again, I have done for you a breakdown. What are you doing? How are you going to do it? Why are we doing this? Please read through this, have the PowerPoint up. As you know, it will be on your class chart sent to you by your teacher. Think about the impact you want this paragraph to have and what techniques will help you. In your booklet, you will see that you've got some sentence starters, and it's really important that at the end of this anecdote, you explain what needs to change. So let's have a look at the success criteria. We're going to use a personal story. Year 10, some of you may not have a personal story, in which case, please do not worry. You may have a friend, family member, or somebody that you know that you could talk to and use their personal story. If you are still struggling, please feel free to email your teacher. Okay, we want to show emotion to appeal to other people. By using personal details, that does make us appear closer to people, so they're more likely to agree with you. Okay, powerful vocabulary, that's crucial here. Talk about feelings, talk about how this anecdote is something awful or positive that happened, but therefore it did still have an impact, and that's where you can use your vocab. What the anecdote taught you, as you can see from the sentence starters, from this I learned. Now it is time for society to learn. The anecdote isn't an opportunity for you to ramble on. It is about saying, this has happened, so this now needs to happen. Think about your closing command sentence. Things must change. This cannot go on. Surely now is time for society to change. Things like that, okay? Feel free to now pause me, keep the slide up if you need it, and have a go at writing your paragraph 3. Good luck. Okay, year 10, this is just a help sheet, I suppose. This is just some more scaffolding. You don't have this in your booklet, but your teacher can email it to you if you need it, or if you need anything extra, feel free to email me. And if you're struggling slightly with the structure or what to include or techniques, on the left-hand side, you can see that that's another waggle that I've actually annotated for you. And I've labelled all of the techniques that have been used. And you might want to read through that, have a look at some of the techniques that have been used effectively, and think about what you're going to use in your own work. If you don't need this, that is absolutely fine. Paragraph 2 and 3 should now be written. This is just if you need any extra work looking at some waggles. Okay. out like a whistle-stop tour of writing Year 10, but you should now be at the point where you have your draft of paragraph 2 and paragraph 3. Please make sure you read through your work, label where you've met the success criteria. You should be able to identify in your paragraphs that you've outlined your speech subject. This will be in your paragraph 2. You must have used paragraphs, yes, but facts and statistics to make you seem credible. Don't forget, you've got all of your research to use, so make sure you're using that. Have you used emotive language? Do you need to look at some synonyms or use a thesaurus to think about language for impact? And have you included your anecdote, but not just that, Year 10? Have you explained what your anecdote has taught us and what now needs to change because of that anecdote? Please make sure that you've drafted both paragraphs and then self-assess them with the 2 slides previously with the success criteria on them. And finally, Year 10, well done if you are now at this point. So, as you can see today, you've written paragraphs 2 and 3. Your introduction is already done. Please make sure you self-assess them and redrafted to make sure that they are the best you can do. You have another lesson with me this week or next week, and that will be on paragraphs 4 and 5. Please make sure that you've got your booklet. Paragraph 4 and 5 are looking at case studies and ideal world and things like that, and I will be talking you through those. Key dates is that you need to be handing in your full speech to your English teacher for marking on the 22nd, and I really recommend Year 10 peer assess each other's work. Take a photo or an email a friend, ask them to have a look through your paragraph, see if they can identify your techniques. Is there anything missing? Is there anything that you need to be including? Can you learn something from your peer? Is there something they've included that you haven't? And you could ask them if you could work together on possibly trying to improve your work. I hope that all made sense, Year 10. I'm really missing you all, and I hope you're all well, and I look forward to seeing you, hopefully whenever we're back. I will be speaking to you again this week or next week with the second half of my lesson on your second 2 paragraphs. Good luck with writing these. Let us know if you need anything. Take care, Year 10. Bye.